you guys to turn on your cameras if you are decent, because I love seeing your faces. But anyways, excited to be here. Let me actually change this view since we're recording so that you can see full screen. So thank you so much, Josephine, for setting us up. And I had a great time this morning with the crew in Europe, which was awesome. And so I'm looking forward to a good time with everybody here tonight. And so my name's Eric Johnson, creator and CEO of Teamzy. And so tonight, what we're going to do is I'll show you Teamzy. Well, for those of you who aren't using it, I'll show you how to set it up. It's really easy to do. It can seem overwhelming, but it's actually quite easy. So I'll show you how to do it, how to set it up, how to master the power hour, get all of your income producing activities done in less than an hour a day, which is really cool, right? But more so than just a software that's going to help streamline your business, give you, your daily method of operation, giving it kind of a streamlined plan. It's the approach, it's the philosophy of relationship marketing that we teach with Teamzy, that Teamzy's built to help you facilitate, which is building authentic relationships in a systemized way. And I'll show you how to do that. It's super important. So before I dive into Teamzy, the actual app, I want to share with you just a little bit. Let me get my screen shared here. Just a little bit of teaching on how to systemize your success with relationship marketing to become a power hour boss. So we're going to teach you relationship marketing, and we're going to let you do it in less than an hour a day, but you got to have a system to it so that you can repeat your success and so that you can duplicate it with your teams, right? Okay. All right. So just a little background on me. I'm not actually one of those network marketing gurus, that run around on the big stage teaching you guys how to do network marketing. My background is actually in general business. I've been a business coach and consultant for 21 years. And in that time, I've been teaching people how to build a relationships-based business, something that what I like to call a joy-filled business. And a system that pretty much works universally to help people do it. And about 7 years ago, I fell into the direct sales space by accident. How many of you fell into direct sales by accident? So to me, it was just, I found some products that I liked. They really helped me. I didn't know about Juice Plus at that time. It's a different company. But, when you like something, you share it, right? Just naturally, I was telling my friends and family about these great products I was using, and I wasn't getting paid for it. So when I finally took a look at the business opportunity, I thought, this is a no-brainer. What an amazing industry. What an amazing business. You can build a business with no investment. You can just get right into it. And the company handles everything. I mean, it was awesome. And so I started building a business on the side, kind of a side hustle. How many of you, this is your side hustle? So I started building it on the side. And immediately I came up against a huge challenge. I just felt like I didn't have any time. Does anyone struggle with time? Here's a shot of the family here. See, really what I wanted, I loved my job. I loved being a business consultant. I was very fulfilled in my work, but I didn't have any time. I didn't have any time to be with these precious people here on the screen. I felt like I was missing my kids growing up. They were, I only saw them basically getting ready for bed and getting out of bed. I was leaving for work while they were in pajamas. I'd come home from work while they were back in pajamas. And I thought, if I don't change something, they're going to be grown up and I will have missed the whole thing. So I saw direct sales as an incredible opportunity for me to build something to give me that flexibility of time. And it was, here I am in my office talking to you, which is cool. 5 minutes ago, I was playing basketball in the driveway with my son. So that's the life that we're given, right? But the challenge that I had 7 years ago when I was looking at this was I wanted time to be with my family, but I didn't really have time to build my business. I was working full time. I was a dad, a husband, right? And some of you can relate to this. So as I really got disciplined with my calendar, I said, okay, I can spare 1 hour a day to build my business. Where are the tools to help me do it? I need to find something to help me leverage my time so I can be efficient in what I need to do. And there was nothing there. And so I put together a team of people smarter than me, and we built Teamzy. And that's kind of how Teamzy came to be, because I couldn't believe there was no tool helping people build relationships in this business. And so when we launched Teamzy, we're not one of those big tech companies that's financed by millionaires. We built it ourselves. I mean, literally drew it on a whiteboard, guys came and coded it, and we launched it to some friends, people I knew, and it just took off. And it has grown through being shared, as it is tonight, being shared with you by somebody who uses it and loves it. And the most humbling thing ever is watching Teamzy grow through what we call our Teamzy family growing just by people sharing it and loving it. And so just to give you an idea of what we've seen happen over the last, now it's just 7 years now. We've had more than 150,000 network marketers use Teamzy. Actually, this slide's a year old, so I don't know what the real number is now. It's probably bigger. And we've seen our active Juice Plus distributors using Teamzy, averaging 18 customers and 12 recruits over 90 days, which is pretty amazing, right? And I know that number is especially good because we have had the support of Juice Plus Corporate through the whole process. So we're real excited to introduce this to all of you so we can see some numbers like that in your businesses as well. Okay. And also, of course, because of our relationship with Juice Plus, there's a special price. We'll talk more about this at the end of the training tonight, but just so you guys know, Juice Plus partners receive about a third off, a little more than a third off the normal price of Teamzy, which is pretty cool. So, and you can do free trial of Teamzy at teamzy.com/JP. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about relationship marketing. What is relationship marketing? You guys probably heard this a lot. It's kind of a buzzword these days. I've been teaching it for 21 years. People used to go, what now? Now they go, oh yeah, I've heard that. But let's talk about what it really is. First off, it's a philosophy of doing business. It's a philosophy of doing business that puts relationships and people ahead of sales and products. Okay, this is important because our industry typically makes people feel like they've got a target painted on their back, right? It makes people feel like you just want to get a sale from me. And we want to change that perspective and say, okay, the people are more important. I'm not trying to get a sale. I'm trying to see if I can love you, if I can help you, right? And through that relationship we build, if we find that what I have is a good solution for you, you'll buy it. It's a total different approach, right? Also, relationship marketing, yes, it's a philosophy, but it's not some abstract feel-good concept, right? This is a proven system that we follow. It's a proven system that we follow, always knowing what to do next. How many of you have had a job where you had a system to follow? It's very comforting, isn't it, to know that there's a system that you'll be successful doing every time. Okay, hold on one second. Let somebody in from the waiting room. All right, next principle. As business owners, developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Developing and deepening relationships is your paramount duty as a business owner. Forgive me while I have this lozenge. I've been talking all day. And I think I'm going to keep talking for a little while. All right. Why is this so important to build relationships? Why is this our duty? Not just a nice thing, but it's our duty. Because our ultimate goal is to turn relationships into advocates by investing time and providing outstanding service. Now, listen up. An advocate is somebody who loves you so much. They love what you're doing so much. They love the mission that you're on so much. They feel compelled to talk about it. Right? And a lot of you are in Juice Plus for that reason. You love the product so much, you felt compelled to talk about it. Think about all the things in your life you're compelled to share. Your favorite restaurant, your favorite movie, a great book you read. You're compelled to share it just because you love it. And what we're going to do with this system is we're going to create advocates. Does this make sense? And as you build your army of advocates, you'll see your business grow and it becomes a lot of fun too. Okay. This is an important concept. I just want to spend 10 more seconds on this because the traditional approach in this industry is the go for no approach. Have you all heard of the go for no approach? The idea here is you're going to message everybody and most of them are going to say no. Have you guys heard this? And they tell us, okay, don't worry, Eric. You just got to embrace the no because you're getting that much closer to a yes. They told me this. I said, you guys are insane. That makes no sense. Now, we seem to be in a world that makes less and less sense every day. We need people to use discernment, right? No's don't get you closer to a yes. What gets you closer to a yes is building a relationship, creating advocates. Now, if you're in the process of going for no and somebody says no, typically what people do is they throw that person away, they take them off their list, they move on. not in relationship marketing, because somebody could say no to Juice Plus and still be your advocate. Does this make sense? They may not see the need for themselves personally, but they may be excited about your mission and still want to recommend it to others. So we don't throw away no's. We continue building that relationship with no's. Okay. Next principle, relationship marketing, it depends on trust. In other words, if you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. Okay. If you're a jerk, this ain't going to work. I feel like a lot of what we've been taught to do, at least when I came into the business, my mentors were teaching me to do things that made me feel made me feel like I wasn't being genuine. Sometimes I wouldn't say it was like outright deceit, but it felt a little bit deceitful. It felt a little bit manipulative. Some of the things they wanted me to do or say, or how they wanted me to position things. And I don't know about all of you. That's not how I roll. I don't do that. This is what you get, right? And I'm upfront. I'm here to help people. I want to help as many people as I can. Not everybody wants to be helped. I'm looking for the ones who do. Does this make sense? And so relationship marketing depends on trust, which means if you do any of those tactics or techniques or tricks of the trade, people aren't going to trust you. It's not going to work. Okay. So I just want to say right now, forget all that stuff. If it felt weird to you when somebody said, try this, you don't have to do it. Okay. Now, the good news is trust makes the work fun, because when people trust you, you don't have to sell them or convince them. You can get right to helping them. That's why we're here, right? Also, trust removes the ickiness from the sales process. This is that icky feeling you have when you think you're doing something maybe you wouldn't normally do. And nobody's going to see you, by the way, as an icky salesperson if they trust you already, if you've built trust. That's why we focus on that first. And finally, instead of going for no, you're going for yes. You're building trust. You're going for yes. It might not be today, but down the road, just maybe. Okay. All right. So how do you build trust? There's actually 4 essential ingredients for building trust I'm going to share with you here. And I want you guys to write these down, take them with you, and start working on these in your business. Here they are quickly, and then I'll explain them out. Number 1 is chemistry. Number 2 is character. Number 3 is competence. And number 4 is consistency. Chemistry, character, competence, consistency. All right, you got those? Great. Chemistry is building a connection with someone. Where do you have common ground with them? What is it about you they can relate to? Okay, chemistry is building a connection with someone. You want to build rapport. You want to get friendly. Why? Because people want to do business with friends. People want to do business with friends. By the way, I want to do business with friends. How many of you would like to do business with friends? It's more fun, isn't it? If you're not having fun, you're not doing it right. That's what I would say. Okay, so we want to build connection with someone. First thing we want to do to build trust is feel connected. What do you have in common? Like, just chat with them a little bit. Find out what's going on in their world. Where can you connect? Number 2 is character. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. Character is when you demonstrate how much you care and that you're relatable. So notice something about this definition of character. Character is not something you have, it's something you do. Okay, character is not something you have, it's something you do. People are looking at you to see your character. And it doesn't matter how strong you feel your character is. You need to be demonstrating it. Does that make sense? It's like, what does my wife always say? Don't tell me with your mouth, show me with your feet, right? You need to be showing people your character. So how are you caring for people? How are you communicating with people? How are you following up on leads, on your customers? How are you serving them? And then beyond the direct business things, how do you show up in your community? Are you courteous to others? Are you kind to the people who are serving you in the community? Are you conscientious of your surroundings? Do you drive your car in a courteous way? Do you return the shopping carts in the parking lot of the grocery store, right? All of these things reflect how you care for others. Are you showing up on time for appointments and meetings? That's a huge one. These are so important because people are looking at you to see if you have the character of someone they can depend on. This is your brand, not Juice Plus, your character. And you can probably all think of a business or a person that you don't want to do business with because of some lack of character or how they've shown they don't care, right? Number 3 is competence. Competence is when you demonstrate that you're good at what you do and that you're a business person. Okay, competence is when you demonstrate you're good at what you do and you're a business person. This is a big deal too. Because if I'm gonna come to you to get Juice Plus, do I have a choice of many people? Absolutely. So why am I going to pick you? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you know why I should use these products? Do you have a story to tell me? Do you know somebody who's been through what I'm going through? Can you help me relate to that person? Can you explain to me how these work? Can you talk to me about the research and the studies that have been done? Do you know all of this? Right? That's the one piece of the first piece of competence is that you're good at what you do. The second piece is, are you the kind of business person that I want to follow into the business? Why should I join your business? How are you demonstrating that you are a competent business person? Am I supposed to just know that? No, you need to show me. And so this is really important, especially with friends and family who've known you for years. Maybe they've seen you at a family wedding with your pants on backwards, right? And they don't think of you as a tycoon yet. How would you demonstrate that you're competent in this business, you know, in those cases? And that's where you're going to share your story and your journey. You're going to share, you know, the milestones that you hit. And, you know, even Josephine on this call, when I asked her about her year, she was too humble to tell you guys, but which is fine because she doesn't need to demonstrate it to this group. You guys know, but it'll be important for her to tell people I ranked up or I got to a new leadership level. These are important things to know and celebrate because it shows people your competence in the business. Does it make sense? In the beginning too, it can be tiny things. I mean, oh my gosh, Juice Plus gave me a water bottle because I helped somebody this month. Cool, share it. Okay. You went to conference, share it on social media. Let people know that you're investing in your business. It's really important that they see that competence growing. Okay, so chemistry, character, and competence, the first 3 ingredients to building trust. Quick principle behind these before we move to number 4, and that's this. If somebody's thinking of doing business with you, they only care about 3 things. Can I trust you? Do you care about me? And are you good at what you do? Can I trust you? Do you care about me? Are you good at what you do? Now, real quick on this, because I don't want to spend too much time on this, but this is important. If it's yes, yes, and yes, they're your advocate. They are your advocate. They'll bend over backwards to share your business. If it's a no on any of these, they're not going to do business with you, and they will make sure nobody they know does business with you. Have you seen people go out of their way to make sure people don't do business? How many of you have done this? If a business violates your trust or makes you feel like a worthless number or totally incompetent, don't you tell your friends and family stay away? So it's very important that we consider these 3 things and work hard to earn yeses. The other piece of this puzzle is when people aren't sure, like they think it's a yes, but they're not sure, that's when they'll raise objections. Okay, so objections are your way, it's like their way of telling you, I don't know yet if I can trust you or that you care for me, that you're really good at this. And so as you overcome the objections in a professional way, it shows them, it deepens that trust, but it also communicates to you, you know what, I need to invest in this relationship so we can get to a more trusting place. Okay. Number 4, consistency. Consistency. Yeah, you got to do some work. Sorry. We can't be successful at anything without being consistent, right? And nobody's going to trust us if we're not consistent. You know, in my leadership development program that we do through Teamzy, I talk about consistency. Do you know what the opposite of consistency is? If you look up its antonym in the English language, the opposite of consistency is unpredictable. It's unpredictable. So you're either consistent, dependable, trustworthy, or you're unpredictable, right? Now, I've got a beautiful, he's not in the room with me tonight because he just didn't want to hang out right now, but I have a beautiful puppy. He's actually just turned 1, so I guess he's not a puppy anymore. He's a Rottweiler. Anybody familiar with a Rottweiler, the breed? The big dog. He's a beautiful, loving, sweet boy. He's about 90 pounds, solid muscle. How many of you would like to come meet my Rottweiler? First of all, let me ask you this. If he was consistent in his behavior, how many would you like to meet? How many of you would like to meet him? If he was unpredictable in his behavior, how many of you would like to meet him? So if you can look at a puppy and say, I don't want to be around an unpredictable puppy, how much less would you like to be around an unpredictable person? Consistency is so important in everything that we do. We need to demonstrate consistency, right? Raising kids, we have to be consistent, right? Give them that safe environment. So think about this. This is being a product to your product consistently, sharing it consistently, sharing on social media consistently, right? All this is important. Now, there's an extra benefit to this too. Besides building trust, it actually draws people to you. Here's the principle, is that people respect consistency and desire it for themselves. People respect consistency and desire it for themselves. So when they see you being consistent, they want to be around you. They want to be closer to you. They want some of that to rub off on them. Make sense? And this is why being consistent not only builds trust, but it actually attracts people to the business, attracts people to your team. One of the reasons that so many of you probably love being part of your team in your Juice Plus family is because it's an amazing community of people who are trying to be consistent together, right? Especially when you're using Teamzy, right? Especially when you're using Teamzy. Okay. So this is all great and good. Being consistent is how you build trust. You don't want to be unpredictable. It's all great. But the real question is this: are you consistent with your relationships? Are you consistent with your relationships? I know you guys take your Juice Plus every day. I know you share, right? But are you consistent with staying in touch with people? Because this is how it's done. You got to be in touch with people. And just to understand, the key to the business is building relationships, and relationship building is a contact sport. That means you need to be in regular contact with people if you want a relationship with them. I know time is scarce. I know you're busy. That's why we built Teamzy. I'll show it to you in a second. It's going to help you do this in no time at all. Okay. But before we do that, I just want to share with you this principle. This is the big principle of the night. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Okay. If you're taking notes, write this down. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. Now, just really quick, please turn on your cameras for a second so I see your beautiful faces. I just want to ask a quick question, which is, how many of you have ever received on there? Now I'm seeing those faces. How many of you have ever received an amazing like card or letter from somebody that had that handwritten message in it? And when you read that, it just got you right in the heart. I mean, oh my gosh. Yes, yes. Some of you guys are like, yeah, absolutely. Right? All right. If you've never received a great card from somebody filled with love, just put your address in the chat. We'll write you one tonight. We'll get you crying. Okay. Now, all of you guys were thinking of a card or a letter that you received from somebody you love. How many of you kept it? You still have it somewhere? Okay. I see a bunch of hands going up. How many of you have a stash, like a box or a trunk full of cards and letters? Isn't it amazing how we save them? It's crazy. In fact, even after we pass away, often our family will keep them. It's the thing that's treasured the most, isn't it? It's the thing that's treasured the most. So it's okay. Here's another example. So it has an incredible impact when somebody that you love writes you a message. Here's another example. Here we go. Have you guys ever seen something like this? This is these are postcards for my birthday. I got these from my insurance salesperson. You guys ever get something like this? It's just like a postcard. It says happy birthday. You guys ever? Okay, so who's received something like this before? Did you keep it? Did this go into that special stash of? No, of course not, right? You guys are laughing at me. This is not special. We don't keep it. This gets thrown away, right? Is it nice to get? As my dad would say, better than a hole in the head, right? He would say, like, it's not amazing. It's like, okay, that's nice. And then you throw it in the trash can. It's no big deal. Why does this have no impact? Yet somebody writes you a card, you might just save it forever. So going back to that principle, remember, there's two things that you need to do to deepen a relationship. One is invest time. This obviously took no time. It's an automated thing, right? So since he invested no time, It doesn't have much value. The other piece is it's not personal. This is bulk. It's not personal. In fact, if you read it, it doesn't even say Eric on it. It says, here's to another great year of you. You know who you are. So personal, right? I mean, how hard is a mail merge to say Eric on it, right? But even that, so impersonal. So it's not personal. It requires no time for him invested. We put zero value on it. This is important. I want you guys to understand this because there's a lot of people out there saying this is how you should market your business. If it's not personal and doesn't require an investment of your time, this is how people will receive it. Make sense? So they call it, the term they use is automated marketing. Sounds cool, automated, but it's really impersonal marketing, low impact marketing. Make sense? So do you need to be writing love letters every day, all day to build your business? Absolutely not. However, if you can think of a reason to write a card to somebody, do it because they'll save it forever. What we do need to do, though, is figure out how to invest some time into people so we can make a personal connection. And that's exactly why we built Teamzy, to allow you to do that with a lot of people every day with minimal time required. Make sense? All right. So I'll show you that in a second. Real quick. Let's go back in here. So there's the principle again. Investing time and connecting personally with people is the only way to deepen relationships. So this is all great, right? But you got to have a system to it. You can't just be like, yeah, I like your philosophy, Eric. I like your style. That's how I'm going to build my business. You need a system so that you can stay in contact with all your relationships, know when you're going to contact them, know what you're going to say, and make sure that nobody falls through the cracks, right? That's a huge one. All right. So let me show you Teamzy. Where'd it go? Let's see. There it is. Okay. So you can, every one of you can go get a free trial of Teamzy at teamzy.com/JP. Okay. Teamzy.com/JP. You can try it for free for 2 weeks. We will not ask you for your credit card or anything weird. Just go in and use it and love it. Okay. Now, we'll talk about it at the end. Should you decide after those 2 weeks to continue on, you can set up a subscription and you're good to go. Okay. So once you get into your free trial, here it is. This is what it looks like. The next few screens I'm going to show you are what we call the setup wizard. This is designed for people like me who aren't very techie. Any of you not very techie? So I'm not real techie. So this is going to help you walk through setting up Teamzy. It's pretty easy. Okay. So we'll skip a couple of these things because they're pretty simple. The first thing I want you to look at is this. Set your income goal. What's your income goal? How much would you like to be earning from your business? And so this is at least a year in the future. So you can move this up and you can move this down. Okay. So my goal, and you see as I move it up and down, the amount of work I have to do each day changes. Because Teamzy is based on a system, we know exactly what you need to do every day to hit your goal. Isn't that cool? That's so cool. How many of you just want to know exactly what to do every day? That's all you need to do Teamzy. Okay. So I set my goal at 150,000. That was my goal when I was building my business. Where is it? There it is. So at 150,000, I need to connect with 9 prospects a day, 6 customers, and 4 partners on my team. So 19 total reach outs a day. Okay. When I say connect, I don't mean send them some cheesy sales script. I mean, just reach out, say hi to make their day. That's it. We just want to make them smile and make contact. And I'll explain why in a second. Okay. So once you've got your goal and you hit continue, it's now in the background configured Teamzy to your goal. So every one of you will have a custom dashboard, which is really cool. The next step is to get all your contacts into Teamzy. We want to have them all here in one place. So you're not looking through sticky notes or pads of paper or old spreadsheets or digging through your phone to find stuff. Does that resemble anybody you know? Okay. So this is important. Teamzy's cloud-based, which means it'll always be available in your phone, on your computer, wherever you are. It's in the cloud, secure, so you can get to it. Okay. You don't have to go home and use your computer. You can grab it in your phone. And so what it's going to do is we're going to get all your contacts in there. If you've got a team, we want to get your team in first, your partners, then we're going to get your customers, Then we can start importing all the people, like your Facebook friends. We've got this cool sync. If you're using Google Chrome, I'm showing you on Google Chrome. On Google Chrome, you can click one button and get your Facebook friends imported, which is pretty cool, into Teamzy. So we're going to get everybody in one place, so you're super organized. Okay, you're never going to lose a contact again. They'll all be there. All right, let's go to the next thing. So once we're ready to launch it, there it is. Here's our Teamzy dashboard, customized for Juice Plus partners. This big rectangle here is to help you get set up. We're going to minimize that because you don't need it while you have me. There you go. Okay. So I'm going to give you just a quick tour of some of the dashboard, and then I'm going to dive in and show you how to use this. Okay. So when you've logged in the first time, you're going to see today's activities. Okay. So today's activities are your goal for today. So my goal is to connect with 9 prospects today, to connect with 6 customers. You can see I've done 1 already and I've got 5 left, to connect with 4 partners, to share 3 times, and to add 3 times. So your goals might be different, but this is what this means. Connecting with prospects, customers, and partners is just reaching out to make someone stay. It's so much fun. You're just reaching out to make their day. That's it. Reach out to make their day, checking in with them. And then when they respond, you can have a conversation. Sharing is when I'm actually sharing Juice Plus. I'm sharing the products with somebody. Okay. So if you're new, your goal will probably be to share once a day. My goal is to share 3 a day. And then I've got a goal to add people to Teamzy, just adding new people to Teamzy. It's like the fresh energy. New people are fresh energy into the business. So as you meet people, add them to Teamzy. Okay. Makes sense? So that's what we want to do today, are those activities. And this dashboard's kind of a visual cue as we're making progress. Now, what I love about Teamzy is a CRM software, which just means contact relationship manager. Okay. No big deal. It keeps track of everyone's contact information. It tracks all of your conversations that you've sent. It logs everything. You log it as you go. It's like a big filing cabinet of information, right? That's the boring part. What Teamzy does, well, maybe it's exciting to you. I don't know. To me, it's kind of boring. But Teamzy does, though, that is exciting, that no one else does, is it takes that information you put in it and it tells you, here's exactly who we want you to reach out to today. Here's some thoughts on what you can say. Okay. And don't spend any time worrying or thinking about it. Just do it. Just follow the system. Okay. And Teamzy will take all your contacts and it will cycle them through so that you're in touch with everybody and nobody falls through the cracks. It's pretty cool. So let me show you how this works. If I scroll down a little bit, now, if I go over here to the page called Team, that has all my contacts, everybody that's in Teamzy, I can look them up. It's like a Rolodex. But here on the dashboard, I've got this Power Hour section. This helps me get right to work without thinking or planning. It tells me who's up next on 4 lists. So I've got my prospects, my customers, and my partners. Each list only lets me see 5 people at a time. That keeps me from getting overwhelmed. It keeps me from skipping ahead too much, right? The right-hand side, this is where I log the message I send so that it's tracked. Okay. And every time you track things in Teamzy, it resets their clock. So for example, Josephine's a 5-star. That means that she's going to come up first. She's top priority relationship in Teamzy. And when I log a message with her, she'll come back on my dashboard again in 30 days automatically. I don't have to think about it. I don't have to set a reminder, nothing. She's just going to cycle back in 30 days. If I scroll down to Bianca, who's a friend I just made today earlier from the UK, she's a 4-star, which means after I log her connect, she comes back in 60 days. If I gave her 3 stars, then she would come back in 90 days and so on. So the more stars you give them, the more often they cycle through. Make sense? This allows you to keep track of a large group of people and stay in touch with them all. The truth is you're not going to have very many people ranked as a 5. Most people will be ranked as a 3. Okay. All right. So let me show you how this works. I come to do my Power Hour and I'm going to start on the left, work left to right. First are my prospects. Josephine's the first person on my list. I'm going to send her a message. My goal again is just to connect. That's it. So what do I say? Oh my gosh, this is where we get stuck. What do we say? So if you ever get stuck on what to say, go to scripts right here. See where it says scripts and click and just get a simple icebreaker script. And these scripts have been honed and refined. They work unbelievably well. So I'm going to message her on Facebook. So I'll choose that one. And I'm just going to take the first one off the list. It says, hi, Jane, just stopping by to say hello. How are you? Hope your day is awesome. So you click on copy script and then paste it in. Okay. And what I want you to do is just take a minute to get the name correct, maybe some emojis. I don't know, whatever you want to personalize it just a touch. Okay. Once you have it the way you want it, then copy it and go send it however you're going to send it. So I'm going to use Facebook. So it's right here. I have it open in a separate tab. And then we'll just look her up. There she is. And we're going to send her a message. Okay. So we just paste it in there and send. There it is. Okay. So that's done. I'll toggle back to Teamzy. We'll finish logging it. It was a Facebook message, log connect. Okay. So you can log all kinds of things, emails, text, WhatsApp, Instagram, right? Snapchat, LinkedIn, phone calls, greeting cards, in-person video chat, Boxer, whatever. Okay. Just so you know, I'm demonstrating with the Facebook message. You can log whatever you want. Next person on my list is Jay. She comes up. Okay. You see when I messaged Josephine, I got 1 done. Now 8 left. Next up is Jay. I'm just going to paste that same script right in there and change the name to Jay. And now I'm ready to go. I've already got it, the emojis, everything the way I want it. I'm going to copy that. We're going to jump right over to Jay. There she is. Okay. And we're going to message Jay. Boom. There she goes. Okay. So Jay's messaged. Toggle back. Facebook message, log connect. 2 done, 7 left. Do you see how this is working? So as this blue circle fills in, I'm getting closer to being done with my prospect. So I'm going to continue down my list, sending messages until I've filled my circle in. So whatever your goal is, it'll be when it's filled in, you're done sending messages to prospects. And then we'll toggle over to the next list, which is customers. Okay, now real quick on this. You're going to find, especially if you use my scripts, that people will respond at a high rate. So I don't want you to run off and have a chat with them in the middle of your power hour because you'll get distracted. What I want you to do is just try to ignore them for a minute and continue sending messages until you're done sending. Okay, make sense? So just get all your outgoing messages done before you respond to anybody. So we're going to send, in my case, 9 prospect messages. That's going to take 10 minutes. Send those out. Then I go to customers. Now I'm going to send them messages. Same thing with Jennifer. I'll go to scripts to get an idea of what I can say to her. There's all kinds of great scripts. I love this one. Hi, Jennifer. How are you enjoying? And then take out the products and put in what, how are you enjoying your tower garden? Please send me an update. Let me know how I can be of help. Okay. Don't leave the brackets, the products, please, in the script. Edit that out. Even if you send it, it's not so bad, but it'll look like a script. Okay. You get the idea. Or this one I love too, which is, hi, Jane, just checking in to see if there's anything I can do to make your day. Okay. So put it in there. And why is it so important, by the way, to always put their first name when you start a new chat? Because remember, it needs to be personal. It needs to be personal. And when you get a message from somebody, it's like, wow, they took time out of their day to message me. So you get both things: investment of time, personal touch. You got it? Okay. Even though it's with Teamzy, it's only taking you a second to do this. Okay. So a copy, I'll go look up Jennifer. I'll send her the message. Okay. I'll log it. Boom. I'll move on to the next person on the list, work my way down the list. Now, real quick on customers. Customers are so important. There's 3 reasons why it's so important to be in regular contact with your customers. Just really quickly. Number 1, it's great service. How many of you just would love to provide great service? It's important to you. So staying in regular contact provides great service. Number 2 is your customers. When you're in regular contact with them, that relationship grows, right? When you're in regular contact with customers, statistically, they order more product, they retain longer. Okay, they order more product, they retain longer, right? Let's say you've got a customer who's got a monthly, they ordered a quad of the Juice Plus products, but there's 6 people in their home. How many do they really need? Right? So that's what happens. For example, you start staying in touch with people, they start adding to the order. Oh, let me get some protein. Let me try that. Oh, I heard about these omegas. What's this tower garden thing? Next thing you know, you got somebody like me who has everything, right? Stay in touch, they order more product, and they retain longer. You'll see that's a huge difference in our income. Not only is it income producing for us, but it's enhancing the life of our customers, is it not? Yeah, because they're getting more of these great things into their homes. All right, so the third reason why it's so important to be in regular contact with customers is because the best source of new customers is our current customers. And building relationships with them so that they will introduce us to their friends and family is how we grow the business. Make sense? So we're going to reach out to our customers until we hit our goal for the day. We're just going to stay in touch. Just use the scripts. It doesn't have to be salesy. Just be there, be present with them. And then when we're done, when that circle's pink, we're going to go over to our partners and we're going to reach out to our partners and make their day. Okay. Why is it so important that we reach out to our partners? This is why we named the business Teamzy. Because you're not going to get the life you want or the business you want without first building an amazing team. And let's be honest, people quit this business all the time. The number one thing that you can do to increase the retention rate of the partners on your team is by building a relationship with them, because people work for relationships above all else. They will work harder to not let you down than they would when they easily let themselves down. Does it make sense? So stay in touch. By the way, it's more fun because just like your customers, your team are going to be your friends, right? Okay. So the first half of your power hour, prospects, customers, partners, just send a message to make their day. That's it. No thinking required. You just jam through it. Bam, 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 send messages. In my case, it was 19 messages. I'm serious when I say I could get that done in 15 minutes. But I'm real familiar with Teamzy. So let's call it 30 minutes, right? So there's the first half of your power hour. Then we're going to go to our follow-ups list and see if we have any follow-ups due. Okay. That's the second half of our power hour. Now, look, I don't have any follow-ups scheduled. So let me explain how this works. The idea here is that as you're starting conversations with people, you're going to progress those conversations to a point where you share Juice Plus with them. Okay. And it's going to happen at different times for different people, depending. Some people will take a while to get there. But the idea is that you're going to get to a place where you share the business with them or you share the products with them. And now they go on your follow-ups list. Okay. They don't need to be on a follow-ups list just to stay in touch. That's what the other three lists do automatically for you. So let me give you an example. I messaged my friend Jay. She responds. Now what? Just have a conversation. Have a conversation, just chit chat. How are you? What's going on with you? It's been a while since we talked. Update me on your life. She gives me some stuff, we're doing this, we're doing that. She just moved houses. How'd the move go? Right. So just be interested in the conversation. Have a normal conversation as if you were face to face. And what happens is when somebody tells you about their life, they then expect an update from you. This is the law of reciprocation, right? So they're going to expect an update from you. So give them an update on your life. This is what I've been doing. This is what my kids are doing. This is what, is going on in our area. Oh, and did I tell you about my home-based business I started? Have I ever told you about my business with Juice Plus? Oh my gosh, it's the best thing ever. This is what I do. This is how I help people. So what happens is people struggle with how to share the business. It's part of a normal conversation to tell people, write this down, to tell people what you do and why you're passionate about it. Okay. To tell people what you do and why you're passionate about it. And I encourage you to be specific. Don't say, well, I've partnered with a nutrition company to empower women to bring out their God-given gifts of like all that mumbo jumbo stuff. Like you don't need to do that. Tell them what you do. I partnered with a company called Juice Plus. This is why Juice Plus is awesome. This is why I love what I do. This is why I'm passionate about what I do. Tell them your story. Okay. When you share what you do and why you're passionate with people, one, it builds trust. Remember how we talked in the beginning about how people are doing all this weird stuff that's disingenuous? Like they take a picture of their Juice Plus capsules in their hand and they say, here's my nutrition. PM me if you want to know what it is. Guess what I'm never going to ever do? I'm never going to PM you to know what it is. Just tell me what it is. Just tell me what it is. Why are you hiding it? Are you embarrassed about it? Are you ashamed of it? Just tell me what it is. Say, here's my Juice Plus tablets, magic in my fingers. PM me for more information. That's fine. But don't hide what you do. Just be out front. Let people know what you're doing and why you love it. Why are you passionate about it? I know that people contradict me on their training with this. And we just have a different approach. Okay. We have a different approach. But for me, it's about being authentic. It's about being real and just getting quickly to the point, which is I'm here to help you. Right? Tell them what you do and why you're passionate about it. Here's how they will respond. Wow, good for you. That's amazing. That's awesome, Eric. I guarantee you people will always be supportive because I'm not trying to give it to you yet. I'm just telling you, hey, this is what I'm doing. I'm doing this and I love it. And this is why. And people are like, wow, that's good for you. Okay. Now, I know I'm kind of going a little extra, but I just want you guys to understand how you get to the share. Now, what I would say next is, yeah. And they're like, good for you, Eric. That sounds great. Now, most of the time that's it, but I'll just add, yeah. And let me know if you'd like to learn more. If you'd ever like to learn more, let me know. I'll give you some more information. That's it. I'm just putting it out there because look, here's the way I want you guys to look at this. I don't believe in offering it to every single person and seeing who sticks because it's not appropriate. But in the context of a conversation where you've shared what you do and why you love it, to not offer it, to not invite somebody to know about it is withholding blessing from them. Right? It's like I have this amazing thing that's unreal. I love it. I'm passionate about it, but I'm not going to invite you to it. Right? That'd be weird. No, if you'd like to learn more about it, let me know. Or if you come across anybody else who might benefit from this, introduce them to me. I'll get them more information too. That's it. Now, people will do one of two things. They'll either say, I'd like to learn more. I'm intrigued. In which case you set up a time, you actually talk to them, share it with them. Some people will say, I'll keep that in mind, Eric. No big deal. Great. Please do. Let's chat again soon. It was so great to catch up. Okay. So you've planted the seed. What happens with that person? Now, let's say that's Jay. She's not interested right now. Okay, I'll keep that in mind. It was great chatting with you. Yeah, it was great chatting with you too. She goes back. She's in the Teamzy flow. So 30, 60 days, she was a 5-star. She'll be back in 30 days. She'll come up on my dashboard again and it'll tell me to message her. And I'll just pick up where we left off. Okay. I'll comment. I'll just send her a little message to make her day. Comment on something she's doing on social, something just to kind of pick it up. Does it make sense? Now, what probably happened in that month? She probably went and read all my posts, watched all my videos. You'd be amazed how interested people are in you once you've reached out and actually connected with them, because nobody is doing this. Nobody is reaching out and connecting with people. Even though I've talked to more than 150,000 people about this, that's a tiny amount of people, right? In the scheme of things, it's very rare for somebody to get a message, a heartfelt message from somebody on social media or text or anything. So you're going to see a great result. Okay. So now let's say that Jay says, no, I'd like to learn more. And I said, great, let's get on a Zoom. Let me share this with you. How do I log that in Teamzy? Let me just show you how to do it. So you notice that Jay's no longer on the dashboard. I already messaged her. So I'm going to actually look her up in my lookup bar right here. That brings me to her contact record, which I'll open up with this connect button. And now I'm going to log in here that we had a Zoom. I'm going to put all the notes from our Zoom in the record, so they're all logged and recorded. And then I'm going to click right here on the bottom left where it says share. It defaults to connect, but I'm going to change it to, let's say it was a business opportunity share, right? So I'll click on business opportunity. So as soon as I told Teamzy that this conversation was a share, it immediately put her on my follow-ups list. See that? It toggled on a follow-up. What that did, and it did it for 2 days, but I'm going to actually change it. You can click on it to edit it. I'll change it to tomorrow. So now that she's on my follow-ups list, she's no longer on my prospects list. She's on my follow-ups list. She can't be in both places. So now I've shared with her and we've moved her to the follow-ups list. So when I log this, it sets that follow-up. You see it's scheduled for her on her record. If I go to the dashboard, you can see it logged the share, and on my follow-ups list, there's Jay due tomorrow. So as you share, you log the share instead of follow-up, puts them on the follow-ups list. Now what I'm going to do with Jay is I'm going to continue to follow up until she makes her purchase, right? So while I'm talking to her and she's excited, I'm going to tell her, Jay, listen, this is great. I'm so glad you're excited. I'm going to put you on my follow-ups list and check in with you tomorrow. Make sure to see if you have any questions about this, because she's telling me she's going to sign, she's going to purchase, right? But often they don't, do they? So I'm going to check in with you tomorrow. She's on my follow-ups list. So tomorrow when I do my power hour, everyone, here's how we do it. Prospects, customers, partners, you just send those messages the first half of your power hour. Then you come to your follow-ups and see if you have any due. Tomorrow, Jay will be due. So here's how we do it. You just send it just like a normal message. Go to your scripts and get a follow-up script. Here it is. Follow-up number 1. Hi, Jane, just checking in like I promised I would. What questions do you have for me? So you can copy that script. There it is. That's follow-up number 1. I wrote 10 for you, so you can do them in order. You could follow up 10 times without having to think. How cool is that? Okay, so once you have the message the way you want it, copy it, go send it to her. Wow, look at this. Over here, Josephine's ready to go. She says, I'm so glad to hear from you. A lot has happened since we last spoke. I'm ready to try the Juice Plus. Hope it will help me with new diagnosis. That's good. All right. We're going to set up a call. We'll talk more. You guys see how easy this is, though? It's so easy. So I've sent her the message. So now what Teamzy is going to do, now that I've sent her the follow-up message, it's asking me, did this complete the follow-up message you scheduled in Teamzy? So yes, we want to, yes. But before I click complete, I want to click on add another follow-up. I want to make sure I follow up, keep her on my follow-ups list. So I'll set a new one, let's say for Friday. Okay. So we'll send her a follow-up on Friday. Great. We'll create that. So now it's like, yes, check off today's follow-up and set a new one, complete. So now I've got a new one set for Friday. See how easy that is? And so what you're going to do is when you have somebody on that follow-ups list, you're just going to keep setting a new follow-up. And every time you send them a message, you set a new follow-up into the future, so that you're staying in touch with them. This is very important. And I know you all have heard that the follow-up is the fortunes in the follow-up, right? Yeah, you all heard it. But here's the truth. And that's that 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up. Okay, 80% of all sales happen between the 7th and 10th follow-up, which means we need to be prepared to follow up 10 times every time we share. Are you guys with me? How many of you, though, are a little worried about being annoying? So I'm going to teach you how to do it without being annoying, but I just want you guys to understand this. If you're here because you love people and want to help them, how many of you, that's you? If you're here because you love people and want to help them, can you, if they don't have Juice Plus yet, will the Juice Plus products help them? No, right? You can't help them if they don't have it. If you have, if they haven't joined the business, can the comp plan help them? No, it can't help them. So how are you going to help them? How are you going to keep your promise to help these people? Well, the only thing that you have is your ability to follow up. That's all you've got, is your ability to follow up. Makes sense? This is why I always say following up is an act of love. Following up is an act of love. So as you follow up, this is how you physically love them through the process. Now, if you want to do it without being annoying, there's 2 principles to keep in mind. And then I'm going to jump into a Q&A. If you guys have questions, you can ask me questions. But the 2 principles to keep in mind when you're following up, and again, just use my scripts because I already follow these principles. Number 1 is you don't ask them to do anything. Don't ask them to do anything in your follow-up. Don't say, you got to respond, or I need you to call me. Just be present for them. Okay. And number 2 is make sure that your follow-up message is short enough they can read the whole thing without opening your message on the lock screen of the phone. Because a lot of times they're going to read your message, but not open it. And the reason they don't open it is because they're just busy right now at this moment. They don't want to send that read receipt and look like a jerk for not messaging you back, right? We all do this, and we have good intentions to go back and answer later, but sometimes they'll forget. So a lot of times they won't remember to message back. But if you can do it in a way that's not intrusive and it's not annoying, you'll stay top of mind with them. And over time, they will respond. Now, typically, this is really frustrating, I know, but I want you guys to know that you're normal. There's nothing wrong with you. Typically, people won't respond to the first 3, 4, 5, 6 follow-ups. Nothing. Have you guys ever had this happen? Just crickets. What's going on? And it's nothing personal. It's just their life is happening. I want you guys to understand, you just got to be ready to keep sending those little follow-up messages, because what will happen is that, like number 7, they'll respond with, I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you for staying in touch. And you're back in the conversation with them. But if you only followed up 2 or 3 times, you missed out on that person. Not only did you miss out on that person, but you let them down because you told them you were going to help them. You told them you cared about them. But when you stopped following up just because they weren't responding, you sent a different message. You sent the message, I didn't actually care about you. I'm frustrated with you and I'm moving on, right? That's not the message you want to send. So stick with the follow-ups. Now, okay, Teamzy makes it easy. Just keep in mind, here's what you do. Every day you come into Teamzy, you send messages to start conversations. Great. Then you're going to be continuing those conversations you started towards sharing Juice Plus with them. Once you've shared Juice Plus with them, you put them on your follow-ups list and you keep following up. Every single month, you're going to see conversions. You're going to see people joining the team, ordering their products. Okay. You're going to see customers that have canceled come back as you reach out to them. And it's going to be just the kind of thing that's a predictable growth curve. You're going to love it. Make sense? Okay. Just real quick, before we jump into Q&A, let me just go through just a couple of things that you'll get when you get going with Teamzy. First of all, keep in mind Teamzy is a full fledged CRM system, but it also has the cool Power Hour built in that lets you do all of your business, your DMO without thinking or planning. But once you've got Teamzy, you'll be able to find every contact, every customer, every conversation you've logged will all be there. You can just look it right up. You have the intelligent Power Hour module to crush your Power Hour. You'll be able to just own it. This is why we call ourselves Power Hour Boss. You'll be able to view and track all your leads, get your team motivated, and see your performance as you go. Also built into Teamzy is the scripts library. I demoed it a couple times for you tonight, but this is huge because you'll know exactly what to say in every situation. I've got over 100 of my scripts that I wrote in here for you, designed for Facebook Messenger, text, any type of touch point. These are not cheesy sales scripts. They're reaching out, conversation starters, staying in touch, follow-ups, that kind of thing, reconnecting with people's scripts. Also, you can create your own scripts and save them in Teamzy, which is pretty awesome. And one more thing I just want to show you guys that you get when you sign up for Teamzy. One of the things that's a huge passion for me is training, right? Was this helpful for you guys tonight? Did you get some good value from this? Now, can you imagine if I was able to really go deep into each topic that I touched on tonight? So one of the things we love to do at Teamzy is provide additional training. We have a lot of training courses that we charge money for, extra money for, like our boot camps, which are really well known. But this training suite that I'm showing you right now on the screen, the Ultimate Mindset Training Suite, this is included with Teamzy. You don't have to pay anything for this, anything additional. Okay, this is included. And what this is this is 4 trainings with workbooks that are going to help you do some of the essential things like setting your goals, right? So there's 3 trainings for goals. We'll teach you how to create your BHAGs. Those are your big, hairy, audacious goals, the ones that almost make you want to laugh out loud when you hear them, right? We're going to teach you how to create SMART goals. These are the goals that you'll achieve in 2022. And then we're going to help you create a personal business standard, which is your daily business goal, right? So we're going to show you how to create all that. We'll help you discover your why, which is the deep emotional reason behind your goals that drives you. If you don't know what your why is, you don't have enough strength behind your motivation. Does this make sense? If you're able to blow off your business, like I don't feel like doing it today, that tells you that your why is not strong enough. So we need to get deep into that. And also we'll teach you more about relationship marketing. So this set of trainings is included. Once you're logged into Teamzy, you go to Teamzy University on the left-hand side, click it, and you'll find those trainings. Okay. So here's some action steps, and then I'll hang out for a little bit and do questions, Q&A with you guys. Number 1, go to teamzy.com/JP and get a free trial started. That's a no-brainer. Okay. If you're already in the free trial, get your subscription set up so you don't miss a beat when the trial ends. Now, as far as price goes, Teamzy's monthly price is $29.99 a month. So it's less than $1 a day to have all of this planned for you, right? But we have a special arrangement with Juice Plus to actually give you more than 1/3 off that price. So as Juice Plus partners, you can get Teamzy for $19.95 a month. It's like 60-something cents a day. Okay. So just the question is, is that worth, less than $1 a day, worth it to have everything planned and laid out for you and tracked, right, in your business? And then, of course, if you love Teamzy, you can do it 12 months at a time. You can do a year in advance and get an even better deal. Okay. So that's the deal. Go to teamzy.com, get your free trial done. When you're done with your 14 days, then you can go in and you can keep going as a subscriber. I highly recommend while you're doing your trial, get a success partner to do it with you. Okay. Look around and say, hey, do you want to do this with me? Encourage each other, hold each other accountable. And what I like to have success partners do is when you've done your work in Teamzy, to take a screenshot of it. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect. Whatever you're able to get done, take a screenshot and message it over to your partner. Okay. It's huge accountability. And having accountability is the difference between being consistent and inconsistent. Okay. And finally, one last thing, and then we'll do Q&A. Losing my voice. So say a prayer for me that I make it the next 10 minutes. Take my 5-day challenge. 5-day challenge. Okay. So what I want you to do in 5 days is use Teamzy 5 days in a row and message 20 people a day. Okay, that's it. And it can be any mix of prospects, customer, partner. I don't care. 20 a day, send the messages. You can just send a script just to connect. Now, why do I want you to do this? Because when you do it, you're going to find the response will be huge. Okay, the response will be huge. And some of you may even be frustrated with me for making you do this because you're going to be like, Eric, you blew up my phone. Now it's melting. Seriously. But I want you to understand. I want you to feel it. I want you to experience it viscerally, what it's like to create momentum and to know that you have the power to create momentum at any time by just getting focused, reaching out and connecting with people. Once you've done this one time, you're never going to believe what you've said in the past. You know, like it's slow. I've gone through my warm market. No one's responding. No one's interested. The economy's weird, whatever. Those are all stories that you made up. The truth is when you get on the action side of connecting with people, you'll see amazing momentum happen. Make sense? Okay. You guys got your action steps? Beautiful. All right. So now let's do this. If you have questions, feel free to unmute and ask me anything you want to.
Hi, Eric. Good evening. Thank you for this training.
Oh, my pleasure.
My question is, how do you import from WhatsApp? Can we do that, or you have to enter your contacts from WhatsApp?
How do you import from WhatsApp? I believe, let me just take a look real quick. I believe that we have those instructions in our help center.
Okay.
But basically what you need to do is you export your WhatsApp contacts and then you import them into Teamzy. I haven't done that one because I haven't used WhatsApp, but I know that it's very popular and I think that we do have instructions for it. So take a look in our help center, or you just, when you're in Teamzy, you click on that help button that floats on the bottom right and send a message to my team and they'll be all over it to help you. Okay. So any question that you guys have, there's a little help button that's always floating around the bottom right of Teamzy. You click that and ask any question you want and they'll help you with it. The other thing that I want you guys to know, if you're thinking about setting up Teamzy, but you're a little intimidated by the process, you can set up a one-on-one with my team and they'll get on a Zoom with you one-on-one and they'll walk you through the whole setup. Okay. So I know not a lot of companies don't do that. You never even get to talk to a human being, but I'll show you Eric, I'll show you where to find that.
I have to say that I wish I did that because I'm not tech savvy and I got myself so frustrated when I started using it because I was trying to do it by myself. And I made a lot of mess out of it. And I think she had to help me and do some stuff. So
yeah. Yeah, if you're in doubt, just set it up now. And this is, I'm showing you on my screen where it is. See right here where it says schedule a one-on-one. You just click that. It'll open up a scheduler calendar and you just pick a time for you and it'll automatically schedule a Zoom with somebody on my team. Okay, pretty cool. But for most things, you could just click this help and send a message and they'll email you. If you want to upload things to Teamzy and you're not sure how to do it, but you have files, you can just attach the files and say, please put these in my account and our team will do it, which is pretty cool too. Okay, great. Who's next?
I have a couple of questions. I love Teamzy. I have it and I've been using it. I think it's fantastic, both for business and for personal life, because I put just regular contacts for life in it. But as to business, one question for prospect, what is the frequency in which you recommend follow-ups? I mean, as you're getting those 10 follow-ups, if you put something out there and you hear nothing, should it be every 2 days, every week? I sometimes get tripped up. I don't, the ickiness factor can creep in again if you're following up too often. So what do you recommend?
No, that's a great question. And this is more of an art than a science. But here's what this is what I would do is if I talk to somebody and they seem very enthusiastic, right? Those people I will follow up 3 days in a row. After the 3 days, I back off. Now, let me just explain why. So there's like a statistical way that people respond. So 20% of people are excited and they will take action right away. And so I don't know what they are yet. So I'm going to do the 1, 2, 3. And the people who are going to take action right away will take action right away. Now, the fourth one, I would probably...
I can't hear you. I don't know if you can...
Oh, are you not able to hear me?
You're now frozen. Everyone is experiencing that, or not, or just me.
Okay, I hear you fine. Can anyone hear me? Are you guys okay to hear me?
It's probably you, Patricia.
Okay. Oh, yep. It says we can hear me. Okay. All right. She's back. Do you hear me now? Okay, good. All right. So what I was saying is I do the 1, 2, 3. If someone's very interested, I do 1, 2, 3, 3 days in a row, because I know that 20% of the people will take action right away. If they don't take action those 3 days, then I back off. So then the fourth one might be 5 days later. And again, it's not an exact science. I literally just look at my calendar and go, well, we'll do it next Tuesday. Okay. So as I'm doing it, as I'm scheduling the next one, I just look at the calendar. I put a little space in there. So I probably will go, 4 or 5 days between follow-ups after that. Okay. Now, over time, you could go as far as a week between follow-ups. That's fine too. If you use my follow-up scripts, they're designed to just be not annoying. Like, here I am. I promised I'd be here. I'm here type thing. Right? Let me know when you're ready. I'm excited to work with you when you're ready. And so it's just like, you're just keeping them top of mind on the excitement that here's the bottom line about follow-ups. This is going a little deeper, but your product is not actually Juice Plus. Okay. Just so you guys know, like, you are not, Juice Plus is not your product. Your product is hope. Your product is hope. Hope for a better health, hope for a better future, right? Hope for healing, whatever the case may be. And so when you're talking to somebody and they're interested, they're hopeful. Every time you message, every time you follow up with them, you reconnect them to that hope feeling they had when they talked to you, even for a second. So the reason why follow-ups work over time, if you do it right, is because they think they're ready, but they're not. Subconsciously, they just don't want to change. They fall back into their old habits. But every time you message them over time and you give them that little shot of hope, they slowly, their defenses that are keeping them stuck where they are slowly erode, right? To the point where it's like a magic, like number 7, follow-up number 7 is kind of the magic for a lot of people. That's the one they respond to, right? Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry I haven't responded. Thank you so much. It's like now they're ready to actually talk about it. So that's kind of the process, if that makes sense. So I do 1, 2, 3, and then I start spacing it out a little bit. Who's next? You guys are making it easy on me. It's okay. Well,
if no one else has a question, I have another one.
Go for it.
Okay. And I'll also need to listen to the recording because I kept going in and out. So I'm going to listen to the recording for you to get your full answer on that. But with the ads, you know, I guess to deal with each day, where are you mostly getting your ads?
Okay.
Because, you know, with of more market, yeah, and context, just putting something out on social media, bring Teamzy sphere.
Okay. I don't know if you can hear me because you broke up a lot there, but I can answer the question, which is where do you get your ads? How do you meet new people? How do you add them to your Teamzy? And so hopefully you can hear this. If not, you'll get it on the recording. But so the first place you're going to add people to Teamzy are people that you already know. So the first place are people you already know that maybe you haven't added yet. You just hadn't thought of them. Oh, my cousin Sally. Oh yeah, I should add her to Teamzy. We should reach out to her. So you're going to be constantly remembering people that you know. So that's one place to add. The other one is, obviously if you're meeting people in the real world, connecting with people, add them to Teams. You say, hey, let's stay in touch. I'm going to put you in my thing so we can stay in touch. So when you're meeting people, if you've got those beautiful Juice Plus t-shirts, you're walking around and people are like, what's that? Talk to them, add them, right? So be okay to meet people and think about all the places where people, places like church or civic organizations, or if you've got kids or grandkids, like there are activities, you get to meet the other parents. So you want all those people in Teamzy. It doesn't mean that they're interested in Juice Plus. It just means this is a human being that you're going to stay in touch with. Okay. Meeting people on social media. You're going to meet people on social media, add them to Teamzy. You haven't met them in the real world. I haven't met you guys that, most of you, but we can have relationships this way, but the best way to add people and the most powerful way, as you've been working in relationship marketing for a while, is you'll be getting introductions. Introductions are how you build your business. This is like everything else is great. And this is like the big one, right? Is getting introductions. And that's when your customers or your relationships introduce people to your business. Okay. And this is something we do a lot of work on in our boot camps, which is teaching you how to get people to do this, because part of it is training them. But the bottom line is, as you're serving people and loving on them and they're excited, they're going to be more likely to want to introduce you to friends and family. And so as you really focus on that and just letting people know, I'd love to serve your friends and family. Do you know anybody who needs more information on Juice Plus this month? Just ask people. And then if they say, yeah, I was talking to so-and-so, perfect. Would you introduce me to them? Right. And so people will generally say, sure. And then, so now you've got a new person that you can add to Teamzy and start building a relationship with. Those are the best ads, because they already trust you, because their friend trusts you. Does this make sense? And so that's what we're really going for in the business are those introductions. Just like I'm talking to all of you because Josephine introduced you, or not all of you were introduced tonight, but she invited you tonight to come in here, right? Like, so that's a person who loves what we're doing and she wants to introduce this business to other people. And she set up a call for me in the UK this morning, which was my, it was my honor and pleasure to do the training. And there was a lot of people. I mean, Josephine, did you know that I had 72 people on that call this morning? So that's an example of an introduction, right? She's multiplying. So, I mean, I wish I had 10,000 people like her. She's amazing, but she's multiplying herself for no gain. She's not gaining from this at all. She's doing it out of love. She's sharing the products. And that's what your advocates will do too. Make sense? Yeah. And so your warm market, you think this concept of going through the warm market, you can't have gone through the warm market. You can have abused your warm market. But now if you get focused on building those relationships, repairing bridges, investing in people, you can make your warm market warmer and it grows. So you're going to get introduced by people directly, like that one to introduce you. On social media, you're going to virtually meet friends of friends on your posts and things like that. People get into a conversation, right? So I hope that answers your question simply and overly complicated the way I like to do it.
Eric, I have a question.
Yes, please.
And I'm not sure if it was asked before or not. If I repeat now, please forgive me. But when you do your import, is it a way that Teamzy can filter out so that you don't have duplicates of the same contact?
Yes, it won't duplicate the same name twice.
Okay.
Now, if the name is different, let's say let's say you've got, like Kemunto also goes by Josephine, right? So she could be listed one place one way and one. In fact, like I asked her today, I go, how do you want me to call you today? Because we go back and forth, right? We go back and forth. So she could be in there twice with a different name in that kind of situation. And in those instances, we have a tool if you go to the team page under tools, there's a merge tool. So you could take those two contact records and merge them into one.
Okay. Okay.
The only reason you would want to merge them though is if you've recorded conversations on them. If you've just got a duplicate, it's easier just to hit the trash can delete icon, right?
Okay.
And just delete the duplicate, but usually it won't create duplicates. So what do I mean by that? Let's say you imported your Facebook friends 2 years ago and you're coming back to Teamzy. You can import that list again today and it will only add the new people. It'll recognize the people who've already been added and not do them again.
Okay. Gotcha.
Make sense?
Thank you. Yes, makes sense. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Any other questions?
Eric,
Yes.
can I share something before I drop for a team call?
Yeah.
I love all the great questions they are asking, because when I started using Teamzy, I thought I had a good handle of it, but I just wasn't maximizing and I really didn't have a good handle on it. And that took about 6 months until I did the boot camp. And guys, Eric and I have not even talked about this, but I just want to share my personal experience and because it benefited me. So if you're going to use Teamzy, I highly recommend just invest in bootcamp. I don't know when the next one is, but I highly recommend invest in it. A lot of people already charge so much money for mastermind classes, but a bootcamp is not expensive at all. But you will get worth the gain within a very short time. And I just have to say that because once I did it, like all the questions you're asking, you have a success partner, you're doing this together. You know how all of us are doing the 90-day run right now? It feels like that, but you're actually consistent and you're excited about what you're doing. The results you're seeing now in your 90-day run, can you imagine like you'll see those consistently and you have a success partner who may not be in Juice Plus, but from another company. Like Eric, the first bootcamp I did, Sarah was my success partner. We are buddies until today. I use her products, she uses my products, and she was not a Juice Plus person. So, and that's an example of a relationship. So if you're thinking about it, honestly, just ask Eric when is the next bootcamp and invest in it and then go running with it. That's what I want to say.
Thank you for that. And we've loved having you in boot camp. Boot camp, actually, we started one today. It started today, was day one. So the registration's closed on it. We closed it last week. But if anybody here is really serious about jumping in our 6-week boot camp, private message me, okay? And I can still squeeze you in, but you have to be willing to jump in with both feet and get started right away because we started today. But if you are interested, the investment for boot camp is $197. You have to have Teamzy to get it, to do it. So it's like, as she said, it's not much, but there is an investment and it's 6 weeks. Okay. So if you're interested in that, private message me and I can get you in the back door to it. Otherwise, just keep an eye out for my emails, because I'll let you know when we're doing it again. But it'll be, it's 6 weeks. So it'll be a ways down the road before we do it again. But I do 4 of them a year. So I do 4 boot camps and I do 3 of my leadership development programs. And that's pretty much all I can squeeze. So, but thanks for the plug on that. And I know that you've really got great results. How many boot camps have you done?
I think 4 and last year mastermind class. The lead
you
class.
Did the leadership mastermind.
The first lead class. Yeah, the first one. Yeah, that was amazing.
So you've done it. You've spent some time in there, and it really has shown because you've gotten really consistent. I know you probably don't think you're really consistent, but compare where you are compared to where you were.
Definitely.
I was talking to our friend Alicia the other day, and Alicia's so consistent, and she's always telling people, I'm not perfect at this. I'm like, Alicia, you're so consistent. Nobody's perfect, but consistent is consistent. You know what I mean? So it's important. I mean, once you can get there, that's the hardest thing. But here's what I'll tell every single person that's still on this call. You guys are still here for a reason. I don't know why you're still listening to me, but here's the thing. If you can brush your teeth every day, it proves that you've got it in you to do anything consistently. Right? I mean, this is like basic stuff. But there's things that we do every day that we don't even think about. We've gotten consistent at, and this is just another thing. You can get just as consistent at this. One of the things that we used to do, at my coaching practice, is when people are really stuck and they can't think creatively and they're just stuck, we tell them to brush your teeth with the other hand for 30 days. So you're used to brushing it with one hand. Try brushing it with the other hand. It's totally awkward. Right? But it's just doing something like that, a habit just backwards, it starts to get things going in your head. So anyways, that's a little side note, but brushing your teeth is a perfect example. And if you think about how many of you are moms, how many times do you have to tell your kids to do it before they do it? I mean, thousands of times, right? Thousands of times. Yet still most adults do it daily, which means that you had to be browbeaten into it. You had to be cajoled. You had to be punished. You had to be yelled at. You had to be encouraged. You had to be bribed. Eventually you did it consistently. And the same is true for your business. I'm just here. I'm like the parent saying, brush your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. But really what I'm saying is go into Teamzy, get it done. Go into Teamzy, get it done. All right. Okay. I know you guys got to go. And so do I. Are there any other questions hanging out there that we haven't answered?
I have one. When will we be able to see the recording? I was on the call the whole time. I'm so sorry. I was at my granddaughter's basketball game and I couldn't put my camera on, but I had it in my ears. I was trying to take notes, but I really want to get as much information on it as I can.
Yes. Okay. So I'll get the recording out to Josephine tonight or early tomorrow morning, and then she can share it with all of you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay. Thanks everybody for being here. I really appreciate it. Welcome to our Teamzy family. God bless you all, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thanks, Eric. Good night.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.